lounging, son.
Welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name's Ryan,
And I'm Manny.
and we are finally going to be talking about Transformers 2. A little late in talking about this. We didn't want to go without talking about this issue. I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that we'll probably do every issue because
I'm down as long as I think Daniel Warren Johnson said he's definitely on through like I think issue 11 or 12.
yeah.
He's got it planned out.
So I'm definitely. I mean, we're both huge fans of
Yeah,
Daniel's, and definitely love talking about his stuff. But it's great because like sometimes you don't necessarily have a whole lot to say on like the second issue in a run, but there's a lot that goes on in this one, a lot to kind of like talk about and discuss.
a lot of pieces are being set up. I mean, honestly, it's. I almost think I liked it as much as I thought issue one was great. I almost like this issue more. Like more starts happening, and I think you really start to sort of see what he's doing with the energy, or what I should say Skybound is doing with the Energon Universe.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I love this cover too. I mean, just look at
Yeah,
the
man.
level of detail he puts in the cockpit right here. You could easily just kind of like, kayfabe that and just like not do much or whatever.
Yeah.
But he fucking
And
just full force, dude.
and I also love the look on Starscream's face. Again,
Yeah.
he talked a lot about in interviews about how it's difficult to get like an emotional response from a robot, But
Right.
like, look at Starscream's face. He looks like the fucking asshole that he is, enjoying about to crush this plane. Like.
I know, dude. Just straight douchebag. Then we open up. I love this. It's just Optimus Prime
It's like a Disney scene almost.
exploring our world. He's like, the world, what beauty. It's unbelievable. And then you hear a crunch. Oh my god, dude, that's so fucked up.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
like
I mean,
it's such an innocent mistake, but it's kind of horrific a little bit,
Yeah, dude. It's like watching Bambi, his mom get killed almost. Like it's a great moment to have because it shows you like how much Optimus Prime values any life.
Yeah.
And that's really what the core of his character is this idea that he's someone that respects life in all its different variations and creations across the universe.
Mm-hmm.
And like you'd think a giant robot like this, something like this, would be insignificant, but like the level of pain that he's expressing over killing this deer it packs a wallop.
Yeah, I definitely think like I hate to use the phrase humanity because that's like insinuating that no other living being has like a sense of emotion or love or caring.
Yeah,
but
good point, man. I never thought about it.
I never thought about it either, but I was about to say it and then I realized.
How about emotionality? We'll make up a word.
Okay, emotionality. Yeah, like the emotionality of Optimus Prime here. It's like it gives so much to him because like otherwise it's hard to kind of show expression on some of the Transformers face, especially Optimus Prime, because he's got the thing covering where his mouth would be.
Correct.
So you really have to utilize his eyes. But Daniel Warren Johnson just like he does convey the emotion very well in here. And
it's in the subtlety of the placing of the face mask.
Yeah.
The eyes, especially. I mean, there's no pupils or anything, but the shape does change to show you like different states of emotion and just like the gentleness that he's lifting the dead deer up with.
Yes, I was gonna mention that too because like you can see how careful he's being, right? Because he doesn't.
Yeah, like I mean,
he knows he took a life, right? And he's saying sorry, and then you see Spike come into the mix, and he's like, "It's okay, it was an accident." I watch this, and he's like, "No, I had no idea."
It's a beautiful little moment between Spike and him,
Yeah, and for him to say like, "Your home is so fragile. Where I'm from, everything is metal. The ground doesn't sway when I walk. I don't leave marks where my feet." Like it's such a different world for them here on Earth than it is for them on Cybertron.
And it speaks to Optimus, like having been on this world at least awake for very little to already notice that and take that into consideration.
Mm-hmm. And I love this too because like he's learning about his name. He's like, "Oh man, such a cool name." He's like, yeah, it's the Prime is passed down from the previous leader, and it signifies his role right within the Autobot hierarchy. And so we're learning. So like if you don't know about Transformers and you don't have like somebody that has no knowledge, right, or even the most basic of knowledge of them, of just like, oh, they're robots that transform. Daniel Warren Johnson is introducing little bits and pieces of the history and like why they are the way they are, and the way he sprinkles them in throughout the story doesn't feel forced. but it's super informative too for people that don't know as much.
And I can't help but I totally hear Peter Cullen's voice every time I read Optimus Prime. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, what was I reading the other day? Never mind. I was reading a comic book actually this morning where like it was from a cartoon and I was like reading
yeah,
it and I could hear like the voice straight in my head through every piece of dot. I love when that happens. I love when there's live action stuff that you can call back to that then when you
yes,
read this stuff, it's like that's what you hear. Um,
yeah,
and then you hear like you see Liz, like Spike's giving a little bit about him, right? Like why he has that name. Like, and then he's like, what is a mom? Like
yeah.
those words don't mean anything to them.
But I do like the moment where he mentions family, and then
Yes.
Optimus says family. That is a concept I know well because again, that's the defining thing for the Autobots is that unlike the Decepticons who are like a bunch of assholes that are constantly trying to backstab each other any chance they get, really, if they're gonna,
Mm-hmm.
the Autobots truly are like a family.
No, it's great. And then we get this like fucking sick montage where we get Cybertron in the background and like it's just space. So it's like it's showing the flashback with them kind of superimposed in it. And I love
Yeah,
that. And then
yeah,
he talks about
good
the
touch.
fighting for centuries and stuff. And then you get Megatron over here, who we haven't seen. He hasn't made it to Earth yet.
No, he's like this specter haunting the story right now. Like you
Yeah.
don't. And what a great concept because introducing him off the bat is what was probably about expected, but now you're really building him up to be like a fearsome force.
And then this moment where Spike's like, I'm sorry about your friend, the yellow one, because Bumblebee died. And he's
Yeah,
just
dude.
and Optimus just says family as he just like is slumped down. It's just fuck. I mean, this is just great storytelling. I mean,
Yeah, man.
we've talked about this so many times, and I'll keep saying it on every time we talk about a Danny Warren Johnson book, is that he just knows how to connect on an emotional level with his readers.
He
Every
does.
story he
Yeah.
does, it doesn't matter what it's about. There's action, there's humor, but there's like that core of it has so much heart, and I think that that's why his stories resonate. At least
And he
I'm
speaks
speaking
about it
for
a lot.
myself.
There's
Yeah,
as of the recording of this video, there's a really fantastic interview with him on the Comics Journal website
mm-hmm.
where he talks a lot about like why those things are so important to his storytelling.
I love this with Cliff Jumper. Like
Yeah,
this is
dude.
a transformer that I don't know much about, but I love the
Yeah, he was one of the
difference.
little ones that came in like the little blister packs.
I love the little personality, like how the different personalities he has, and how he
Yeah.
comes up and he sees Spike. It's like, what is that thing? He's like
Yeah.
almost disgusted a little bit. He won't even let
I
him
get
touch
the
him.
the feeling that Cliff Jumper is almost like a teenager, maybe.
Yeah, I love
Like
that. We're not there
he's
yet, my
definitely
man. As he goes,
yeah,
as Spike goes
yeah.
to
That's what
shake
I'm
his
saying.
hand.
Like he seems like his personality skews younger, whereas Optimus seems like the fatherly. This is like the maybe like the one of the younger kids in the family or something. If you want to, if you want to compare them that way.
And then I like this too because he calls him like a little turbo rat, which I don't know what that is, but I'm imagining it's some like gross creature from like their planet.
Yeah.
And then he sees her come up, and he's like, "Oh my god, how many of you are there?" So funny, dude. I don't know. Just like I said, there's so much. There's action, humor. He has it all. He really gives you the full
Yeah.
gamut of emotions with all of his stories. And then eventually he just gives her the one finger to shake.
Very ET like moment.
I really like Carly's personality too, how different it is from Spike's, who's like kind of more reserved, She's
Yeah.
like way more like in your face, kind of got like this really strong personality. And now we're learning about like how they're bringing them back, and he's asking like, when are we going to be back at full strength? Even so much as saying like they don't have enough of, what is it called, the
Energon.
Energon, yeah, to bring everybody back. And Optimus even's going to sacrifice, like, what if we split it? And like, no, we can't. Like, we can't take your life force because it's too great a risk. If we lose you, we lose everything. And that, like, in and of itself, like, again, I don't have a ton of knowledge on the Transformers, but like he has the role of Prime, right? Like, so he means a lot to the Autobots.
Yeah, he's got like the Matrix. I think it's a thing in his chest that
Yeah,
gets passed down to the
yeah.
next Prime.
So just really cool, like montage. I really love this van too. I think we talked about the van art in the last
Dude,
issue.
yeah.
Um,
That's a Daniel Warren Johnson like thing too.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's a big metal dude too, and
Oh, I
like
just
like that.
realized that she's drawing Optimus Prime on there.
Oh, I did too. Good catch. That's awesome.
she's spray, she's like airbrush or
She's
something,
yeah,
dude.
the airbrush.
Dude, that's dope. I didn't notice that. I mean, I've read it twice, and
Oh
this
man,
is the
see,
third time.
this is my third read through, flip through. So, and I didn't even
Yeah,
notice it on the first two.
yeah,
It's
pretty
just,
dope.
he packs so much detail into every panel, man. Like that's why, like I read Daniel Warren Johnson comics multiple times because honestly, you notice something different every time you read it in the
Hmm.
background, you know.
And now we get over here with Spike's dad, right? This is Spike's dad right here that's talking to the cops.
Yeah, the construction site that was attacked by
Yeah.
Starscream earlier.
And then this is Carly's dad who was killed. So
Yeah,
Skywarp comes in. I love this. He just like slams down, watch out, weaklings. And it just fucking
yeah. I've always liked
everybody
his
just
color scheme as a kid too.
I love this too. Like, and they are trying to collect energy too, because like I'm imagining their whole point is they're trying to get Megatron back.
Yeah, I think so too.
Besides Starscream, who doesn't want him back. Right? Starscream's
Yeah,
the one that's like he wants to be the leader, if I remember
yeah,
correctly.
he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll kiss his ass. He'll kiss Megatron's ass in front of him, but behind him, he's
Mhm.
constantly trying to usurp his
I
power.
love that they call us like the human beings the squishies.
Yeah, I
it's
like
so
that too.
it's so funny, dude.
And
Just
I'm
again, the action here, like
yeah, lots of manga, the speed lines. I mean, that's a Daniel Warren Johnson uh thing too. Like he brings a lot of the energy of manga
mhm.
to his comics, which I love. I love seeing the fusion of so many comics because I mean, there's even a Mobius influence in him in the way that he draws tech too. So like he's pulling at all sorts of like schools of comic book making here.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. That's a good like comparison. I like the sound or the onomatopoeias when they're transforming. I really dig that.
And Starscream slapping that jet, I love that panel too, man.
Yeah, it's dope.
And he's like, "This is fun," like
I know it's almost like I mean I feel like that's maybe kind of like a wrestling move that he threw in there. The slap.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
He's definitely choreographing differently.
Dude, this right here, the splat.
Dude, that made me pause the first time I read it. I was like, "Holy
Yeah.
shit!" Like I've never seen that in anything Transformers.
No, no, this I'm so shocked. I'm happy, but shocked that Hasbro is allowing some
Yeah,
of this to go down because Transformers really is like, I don't know, it's always been geared for kids, kind
yeah.
of, right? Like, so like to
And
see some of the
kids could
stuff,
read this because it's not overly gory, but the implication is really fucked up, man. I
it's
mean,
really fucked up.
he
Dude got
just literally
smashed.
flattened a human being, And look
And
at the glee on Starscream's face again. That small detail, like he's fucking
yeah.
smiling.
And then he goes after this other soldier who's got this jetpack. He's like fires this weapon on him. He's like, all right, whatever, stupid humans. And then we get Duke, the
Dude,
connection.
that just made me smile, and I love that it was done with very little fanfare. I mean, it's enough to make you realize who it is, but
Yep.
it's not like they didn't do it at the end. They didn't, they didn't do it like a full page. Like it was clever.
Yeah, it was really good. And then you just immediately go back to the
Yeah,
Decepticons right over here, and we see Spike's dad kind of trying to make his way home. Then we flash again over to Optimus, and he can see like all the destruction that's being off in the distance, right?
yeah,
And Spike's worried about his dad, so now they're gonna go back. And I love this dude. He's like, it's my duty now to defend it. And then what does he do? I love this mid transformation image. I think it's so cool looking. I don't know. It's like
yeah, dude. Yeah,
I
because
don't often see that.
you never see them. You either see them like fully transformed in one form or the other,
Yeah.
but never like this like moment where it's like I guess maybe halfway there, and then you sort of see how it would work.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. I think it was a cool choice for him to do that. Like visually, I don't remember ever seeing it in a comic, and I've read some Transformers comics, not a ton, but so I thought that was cool. And now Carly wants to go with Spike, but he takes off with Optimus, so she hops in the van, and you can see like right here the Optimus that she airbrushed onto the side
Yeah,
of the
you can
van.
see it there too. Yeah, and then we got Laserbeak following her.
Hmm.
Came out of Soundwave. I always love the cassette ones,
And
like
then this,
Ravage.
dude, isn't this weird though,
But
too, when like Spike's dad goes into this like locker and starts like unpacking something. He lifts it up, and then we go. Carly's running up looking for her dad, and now I think you might be right that he might have maybe has a connection with Duke.
yeah, like he might have been in the Joes somehow. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna end up being one of the well-known Joes
No,
because
no, no, not one of the well known, but I feel like he might know them. Like there
Right.
might be
Yeah,
some
he might
sort of
know what
connection.
the GI Joe faction of the army is.
And then this dude is fucked up, man. She like comes, she's looking for her dad. Where is he? Where is he? And he's like, they killed your dad. Messed up, dude.
Does he pull that military stuff out of her dad's house? Is that what happened?
Oh yeah, you know what? I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, I just realized that now. So that kind of changes it a bit too. I mean, I get the feeling maybe they were army buddies, so he must have known that that stuff was there.
Oh, that's, you know what? I don't know why I didn't pick up on that. It's
I
so
didn't either
obvious.
until
It's
right
so
now, man.
obvious, but it's like,
Yeah, it
yeah.
is.
Especially because like, why would he have a photo of him and her on like
Yeah.
in his
So I
house?
mean, maybe Davy, her dad.
Was it
I'm
Joe?
not really good at the actual names of the Joes without the code
Yeah.
words. So
It'll be interesting to see how it's connected because you know it's, I mean, obviously they're connecting it all, but like I'd be interested to see like who Carly's dad is. Maybe he is somebody, maybe he's not, but I would have to imagine that they're going to connect it to the Joes in some way, not just by having Duke in the book. Like there has to be some reason for these kids.
yes, and then
So
we get a preview for Duke, which is actually really cool.
I know, dude, Tom Riley,
Dude,
so
Tom
good.
Riley's becoming one of my favorite artists. Like I follow him on Instagram, and he's always posting really amazing drawings. And I like what they're doing with Duke here. Like they're giving him a bit of a dark edge. I mean, if you read the preview, like they're saying how he should have been like a general, but he always wanted to. He just ended up being a grunt the whole time because
Yeah.
he probably felt that he was better, being boots on the ground than making
I
these big
really dig
decisions.
this effect with the blinds and the light coming
Yes.
through. That's pretty dope. But
Yeah.
yeah, Duke comes out December 27th. The GI Joe book that came out this week as of the week we're recording. And then also you got Cobra Commander coming out in January. So I love the world they're building. I know the GI Joe ongoing is not connected in the Energon universe. That's its own thing, continuing that continuity. But
No,
I'm excited for all of it. I'm picking it all up. And I can't, I
I
mean,
am too, man.
I don't even know if there was ever a time in my life where GI Joe and Transformers were on my pull list at the same time.
Not
I think
definitely not for me.
I can safely say with 100% certainty there was never a time that those books were both on my pull list. So
And I'm definitely gonna put Cobra Commander, which I forget where I read it, but like I know Joshua Williamson is writing that one too.
yeah,
And he said that if you were going to describe it, he would say that Cobra Commander has almost a horror vibe to it, which is that piqued my interest.
yeah, I think it's going to be great. Joshua Williamson's one of my favorite writers, so I will kind of follow him to whatever he does. So very
Mhm.
excited. Highly recommend this. If you guys haven't picked up the first issue, I know there's a second print. I think it came out the same day as issue 2, so
Yeah.
it'd be easy to find. It's definitely worth it. If you're not even a fan of Transformers, I think this might make you one. So go pick it up. Check out our video. We did go through issue 1. There's also an interview with Daniel Warren Johnson where we're not talking about it. He told us about it after we stopped the recording, but there's also that available on the channel. And make sure you
Yeah.
like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you're notified every time a new vid drops. And on that note, we're out.
We'll catch you next time, guys.